Good morning. So I'd already taken today off, and the family is now out of the house. And I've got a couple errands I'm doing later today, but this was good timing because I had a couple hours to kill before heading home. So let's take a look at this game. So actually, the first thing I want to take a look at is what the time settings were. Okay, 15, 5 by 30. Okay, cool. So we're black in this one, and everything is fine until here. So I don't like this, and I don't think you should play it. I don't think you should play these 3/3s when there are other stones here until you learn the variations, because you're just getting yourself in trouble. Because the question I have is after we go through all this and you live. Oh, let me turn AI off so it doesn't ping us. Do you consider this a success for black? I hope you see this as not a success for black. Black got 1, 2, 3 points, right? Because white, he's not going to play it now, but he can get this in endgame. So at most, we're getting 4 points out of this as black, and we're giving white this nice thickness on outside. We're getting in Sente though, because he does need to protect this cut eventually. But this isn't a good result for black. Okay, and so I wouldn't dive into the 3/3, especially. So the thing is, it really abandons this stone, because when you do this, you know he's going to get strength on the outside, and he's likely going to get it with Sente because of this stone here, and so that's going to put this stone in a lot of trouble. Okay, so I don't like this change of direction. If we want to approach that, we can look at the typical approaches. We can approach here or here, right? Either of those are fine, and they'll work well off of this stone. This just kind of abandons what this stone was. If you wanted to 3/3, right, if your goal was to go in the corner here, then just jump in the corner. I still don't want you to do this. I still don't want you to play this move here. I think going after this side or the corner is fine. You know I don't like these random splitting moves. If I'm black here, I play this. This is the move I play. I also want to split the bottom, but I'm going to approach a corner to do it because the corners are bigger than the sides, and that still counts here. I don't like this. You know I already don't like these moves. So yeah, so I am playing this. This is where I'm playing, and we will end up getting a stone over here most likely, right? If he backs off, we do this, right? Oops, we wouldn't play that far. We still end up getting a stone over here. His bottom's completely broken, and this is fine. Like this is still a perfectly even game, right? But this is the not this, but this is the type of move that gets us into trouble. So my stance recently has been that the Fuseki decisions don't matter as long as you don't blunder. As long as you make normal moves, everything's going to be fine. I would not consider this to be a normal move, and this is where we can start falling behind in games. I think if you had just played a more rational move and just let him get this, right, and then either just leave those, or if you don't like that result, then you can play here. Or if you don't like this result, that's the reason I don't like this random move, just then go play over here, right? And you know this is going to turn out fine. You know this is going to turn out fine. You're not going to fall behind here. So anyway, moving on, we get in a little bit of trouble over here. We end up living. So disaster averted, I guess. And then he plays a second line move, which is really sad. Like this is sad times for white. Playing a move like this, he needs to be attacking this stone. He needs to be playing something like this or this, right? Push towards the strength while we build something up. This is making it look like white already had a stone here, and then black got this amazing shoulder hit, but in reverse, right? Like so, this is huge for black. So as much as a mistake as this possibly was, this is way worse. J2 is a much larger mistake than jumping into the corner. So this all turns out well. We let him cut here, but then we get the outside. I don't think I push here. This isn't Sente. And so, well, actually, maybe it is because of this cut. Maybe because of this cut, it's Sente. But here we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, right? I'm not sure what we're looking to gain over here. We did this to get influence, right? I don't know if that was your intent to get influence, but like obviously that's all we have right now. We're not getting territory in here, and he's already dropped down to the third line and second line, so there's nothing to reduce here. This Hane isn't that big of a deal because all we're getting out of this is the center. I Tanuki here. I think I just Tanuki from this, and I'd probably play here. There's no way white can attack this. It's way too strong. It's really good shape. You know what? So white's going to start here, but there's too much. Black's got too much room, and so yeah. So this Also not Sente, right? As white, I'd probably Tanuki. I'd probably play something like this as white. Maybe so not a pure Tanuki because I want to strengthen this, but I'm not answering that move. It's too small. It's too small. And then we jump out a little timidly. That's a pretty timid jump. If we wanted to jump out from this, I'm jumping to about here, right? Because this is really strong. But again, I'm Tanukiing from this. I don't see any reason to have to help this right now, especially with this extra stone. So I'm playing a Tanuki here. Because again, all white can do is this. And where's he playing next? It's not really that big of a deal. Or we can also look up just giving up those 2 stones and play here. Do something like this. This is fine. You know, just kind of transition. Yeah, you lose some points over here, but this is big. So anyway, so we do this. So then he goes and plays a really weird approach and does this. I think we just do want to turn. Right, just take it. This is really strong. Even though he's not going to do anything with this stone, that's fine. It's still a big move. This, also a big move. It's fine. And then we do this. And then here, so we don't want to Atari this cutting stone. What we want to do, so now we're cross-cut, right? So before I dive into this, the big mistakes I see in this game, other than diving into the corner, are all tactical fighting stuff. It's all tactical fighting stuff that got you a little lost here. And so we're going to start with this because this is like if I was ever to do a Fighting 101 course, this is the example we start with. The reason I'm not going to do that is this is how Frozen taught fighting. And man, like as a 4K, I just couldn't figure out what he was saying. It was way too complicated. But the basic rule, like the number one basic rule, is pretty easy in crosscuts. Okay, and that is we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Okay, identify what your weakest group is. Identify what his weakest group is. Either make your weaker group stronger, or his weaker group weaker, or both. Okay, so it's our turn. Let me turn these numbers off. And you need to start with what your weak group is. It's obvious that E15 is the weak group here. Or maybe it's not obvious. But to me, that I'm looking at that. And we're just looking at a liberty count. This group has 1, 2, 3 liberties. This has 2. If you look at what white's groups are, he also has a group of 3 liberties and also a group of 2. So I'm extending off of this stone. I don't know if I'm playing here. I don't know if I'm playing, oh, not there. I don't know if I'm playing, come on, here. I'm probably playing here. Because the best white can do is this, and we're fine. We're fine, white's surrounded, he's going to die. Okay, so this is the safer of the 2 moves. If you think you can get more, this is the stronger of the 2 moves. This is going to turn into a proper fight. White's probably going to jump out here, and now we can maybe even like descend, but this is where it gets complicated. Like, does this now work? Are we okay? It's not necessarily easy to tell if this works. Like, this is complicated, right? Which is why I'm saying that this is the more bold move if you can read it out. If you're able to read this fight and see how this is going to go and you feel comfortable, then you do this. The much safer move is this. Okay, I don't see white surviving here. This looks like game over for black. This looks like a nearly unwinnable game for white at this point in time. But we broke the rule and we Atari to cutting stone, which we don't want to do. That kind of gives up this stone. And it's interesting, it's worth noting in this fight that you ended up taking this turn anyway, right? But getting this first, I think, is stronger. I think it's stronger to get that first. This still turned out okay for you. So yeah, so this is problematic for white now because this was a bad cut for white. This was a bad cut. I want to be clear on that. This is a big mistake for white because I think that just gives this for black for free and he loses the stone. So it's not even for free. It's giving black this with additional profit. So yeah, so you totally saved it. This is a terrible position for white here. And then he cross cut again. And here, yep, you picked the right thing and you extended. And then we gave up this stone. This, I don't know what this does, right? Yeah, it's Sente, but what does it actually do? I don't know. Okay, then we do this. I actually don't think this is Sente because, you know, what are we doing if white plays here? Are we really taking this stone? I don't think so, right? And that's really what Sente comes down to. Sente comes down to if my opponent ignores this, am I actually following it up? And I don't think you're going to do this and let your opponent get this. I don't think that's going to happen here. So this actually isn't Sente. And then we played here, which I think is a fine move. We have to be a little. We just have to be. Oh no, we have a liberty here. I was like, oh, we need to be a little careful about this snapback, but we've got a liberty here, so there is no snapback. And he plays here, and this is good. This is good. I like this. I like this. I like this. I like all this. This is all good. I don't like this. So here, I really like playing on top, especially if you look at the stones on the board that we've got, right? It's clear that we've got something going on in the center, right? So I think we want to do this. Also, this is just better shape, because your opponent's going to go here and you get to do this, and he can't. This isn't going to work for white, because he's not going to be able to protect everything. And yeah, we have to do this frustrating crawl. But maybe this isn't that great. I don't know. I still my instinct says to do this, so maybe we push one more time and give up the corner for the center, right? Yeah, he's got a monkey jump he can take, but he's in risk of dying, right? So it's probably going to be something like this. And this I like this better. I like this better. So I guess this isn't really a big deal because it just takes the corner, prioritizes the corner a little bit. The Hane, yeah, we have to take the Hane and we extend. Yep. This is all fine. I like all of this. And then we get to, where's that fighting continue? All this, I think all this is good. Do I like the attach? I think the attach is fine. I think all this is fine. I feel like something went awry here. Let's see. We went that way. Yeah, I think we probably just need to do this. Because again, if we look at especially now what's going on in the center here, right? I think this is where our focus should be, not that corner. I think it should be this 25-point center we're looking at. Because yeah, this double peep is tough. Double peep is tough. So let's see. Next here. So this is what a cool move this was. I don't know if it works. Right? Because white has this, which means we have to do this, and then he gets this. And so we trade. Is that a worth trade though? I don't know. I don't know if that's a worthwhile trade because these two stones are definitely dead. And now this is all dead. So I don't think. I think this was ill-timed because I think this gets you. I think this gets you really really strong. I don't see a good answer to this. We'd have to connect and then here, and then we have to play this. And so then what did this stone actually get us? I don't know. It looks like it does something. Ironically, now it does something. Right? He responded incorrectly. But so for a fighting tactic thing, you do these moves a lot. Yes, this is a forcing move, but it doesn't actually do anything because white couldn't play there. So this actually isn't a liberty for white. Right? If we had played somewhere else, let's just say we Tanuki'd, white can't play this because it's self-Atari. And if he plays this, then we connect. Right? So this Atari doesn't actually do anything. And then we connect. Worse than that, actually the Atari does do something. It lets white play this for free. Okay? Which is a really important move for him right here. Does it still? Yeah, it's a very important move for him right here because now we have to come back and connect, which he did, and it lets him connect under. That's how he should connect. Okay. And now we're in trouble here because if white gets this, we end up dying, right? So this move it actually hurts black in this situation. And black has a Tsuji here. And I don't expect you to see this. what I do expect you to see is to stop playing moves like this that don't actually, yeah, because at the end of the day, this removes a liberty from you. That's really what this comes down to. This loses a liberty for you, okay? And it doesn't actually lose a liberty for white. And so the fact that you played this and then had to come back just hurts. As where, if you had found this magical Tsuji, we wouldn't be. I mean, you wouldn't be 7K if you found this Tsuji. But this move right here kills these 4 stones. He can't connect because then we have this, and he's out of liberties because we haven't taken this liberty away yet. So we have 2. So this is not an Atari. So now we can do this, and when he plays here, we capture. Okay, and so yeah, maybe we lose these 3, but now these 4 stones are in trouble, these 3 stones are in trouble. Like, it's all terrible for white. But because we made this exchange, now white's out of the woods, and he gets to connect up in kind of a clunky way, but that's fine. That's fine. And then so we do this, and this, and then ironically, this move isn't needed, but it's really hard to see that it's not needed. It's gonna be Seki. It's gonna be Sekiing here because white can't take away both of these liberties. And this still only gets you 1 eye because white can play here later and it's still only 1 eye. So black still needs to connect out, which is going to be easy to do. Very easy to connect out here. So we don't actually have to do this. Playing here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8-point move, which isn't trivial. 8 points is something, but we can find bigger moves than that. You know, if we play here and then he does this, this is Seki. Okay? And so the question is this move bigger than 8 points? I think it is. By the way, this isn't too bad. This isn't where we lost the game. So yep, I like this. I don't think this is where we want to be. I think this center is just too big. We have to secure it. So I think I play here. All right. What is our punishing follow-up if white ignores this to play this move? And are we ignoring this move if our opponent plays it? I don't think so. That's probably a little too far. But I don't think this is. I don't think this is too far. And now it's just we've got 0 points in the center, all for this tiny reduction move. So here we need to keep our eyes on where are the big points, right? So you say that you don't know how to hold the center. And yeah, holding the center is tough, but you got to try to hold the center. This isn't trying to hold the center. This is your opponent gave you. You recognized that this is all Gote, and I like it. I like that you didn't answer here. It's great. But then we gotta do our Tanuki strong. And actually, this is it. This is the move right here. This is what I'm saying. And this threatens to turn this into points, and it threatens to turn this into points. And I think black just wins the game here. I don't think there's anything white can do. And I think black just wins. Of course, assuming we don't lose a fight, which is what ends up happening. So I still think black wins this game. I still think black's ahead. This is not where black played. Black played he answered, and we're still playing these small moves, and he tries this, which doesn't work. And now he plays this, and we're playing this very, very small move. I mean, look at how many points we potentially have here. We really need to block it. We just really need to block the points. That's really what this comes down to. I think you might still be in the mindset of corners with 4 sides with 4 center, but we're at move 142, right? So that all goes out the window. It's now just where are the big points, and the big points are in the center. And so that's where we need to play this move. We need to play this move or this move. Something here, one of those two. Doing this gives white the timing to just destroy it all now. Now it's just like all the points are gone. And if we look at, I know, I knock score estimator, right? So if we play here and white takes this, right? This was the move that you were worried about. If we look at score estimator, it's going to say black is up by 20. Well, let's fix that real quick. It is saying black is up by 3. Let's fix that a little bit. Oh, I'll take it all back. We're not live there yet, are we? If he gets this, we're just dead. Yeah. Wow. I guess we're not dead because we can still run out. Okay, I'll take it back. So this gets you more life once he surrounds you. You found something I didn't. Although I was, I wasn't playing. I was hyper focused on the center, but I didn't recognize that this surrounds this group, and we needed life there. So I'll take it back. Um, we kind of needed this. And where did he play? And then he played here. Yep, yep. But now we get Sente again, and I forget where you played right here. So this is it. So this is the timing we need to play one of these two moves. Just 100% need to play one of those two moves. And you took this, which just it isn't the right direction. And now we look at this. So now this is what I want to do. So now let's take a look at score estimator. So score estimator says black is up by 14, but that's with this dying, and that's not dying. So let's just clear that real quick, just so it's more accurate, much more accurate. That's so accurate. Come on, yeah, man. Okay, white by 6.5. So this is saying white by 6.5. If we instead had done this and let white get this, and we'll say this, and then we have to do this stupid thing for score estimator to work. So instead of it being white by 6.5, it's now black by 13.5. And I agree with this. I agree that this is about a 20-point move on this board, because all these points are yours now. And if white gets this instead, 0 of these points are yours now. It's that big of a difference. But we got him to answer, and we're still looking to reduce here. Here, we've got white potentially. We'll just look at the stuff that can be reduced. White is protecting what, 15 points? He's protecting 15 points here. How many points is black protecting here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 30. There are about 30 points to protect for black in here, and there's 15 points for white to protect here. So when you play this, I mean, white's alive up here, and white's alive down here. White's going to go, well, this area is bigger. I mean, your opponent did, and your opponent answered, but like, look how big this area is. We need to be closing that up. So anyway, so this continues on for a bit, and finally we play here, and this is, and unfortunately I say now the game's over, black wins, but we know that didn't happen because then the fighting tactics got us. Okay, and so this move is okay. This move is okay. This move is okay, and now here, you got a little ahead of yourself here. I think you looked at this as, I need to kill now, right? And we don't need to kill now. We just need to live, okay? There's nowhere for white to go. There's no life to be had for white in here. So we just need to not die. We don't need to kill this right now. We can kill this in 20 turns and it's okay. So we just need to be strong, okay? And so I look at this and I see this as there's only one move. Actually, that's not true. We've got a couple moves. No, there's only one move, because the threat here is white playing this, right? This is the threat. So there's actually 2 moves that I see. We can just connect, which is fine. This is going to be fine because he can't cut, because we've got this Atari, and we've got way more liberties than he does. And so we can just do this and be done. He's only got 4 liberties, and we've got bajillions. So we're fine. Okay, so that is option 1. Option 2, which I think is the cleaner one, I just play. Because now he can't cut. It's a self-Atari and he dies. And so now if he plays here and he connects, now we connect. And this is going to look very similar to the other one, right? He's got this cut that we potentially care about. And now I think this is the same exact position. Is this the same exact position? It is. I am now clicking between the 2 board states, and they're identical. So I think playing here or playing here are the only 2 moves, and I think they work fine. Actually, that's not true. This still works fine. Like, this still works. It's just the follow-ups that are getting us in trouble, because now he can play this, and it's potentially concerning. He might get us some liberties, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's tough. I still think we're fine. but it's tougher now. He played here, we connect, and now he takes the cut, and we do this, and he does this. And yeah, then we just got a little cute. I think we're okay if we play here, because he needs to connect. And then we can just start taking liberties away. It's all about liberties. Liberties, liberties, liberties. Yeah, we're a little concerned with this, but not really. We've got enough liberties. We're fine. It's all about the liberties. All about the liberties. But here we're losing liberties on the inside by taking these exchanges. So I think we need to do this. I think we need to do this. I think this is okay. Maybe not, because we still can't play here because of this. I don't know. Yeah, this is tricky now. It's tricky now because we let him in. We let him get this cut. And so we needed to play here, or we needed to play here. Those were the two options here. We needed to protect this cut. This was the most vital thing to keep our groups connected. But I think you saw this as you needed to kill right now. You needed to find some trick to stop his attack, but we don't need to do that. We just need to stay alive. If we just stay alive, we are fine, and there's nowhere for white to go. He'll connect again. He'll connect up. We connect, and he's got nothing at this point in time. Even if this worked, let's say this worked, and you're like, oh crap, he got me, okay, and we had to do this. I bet. Let's just do this stupid thing again. I bet that we are still up. We are up by 8 points, and that's with giving up these 5 stones that we didn't need to give up. But you can always just cut the tail off the dragon, right? To keep where all of your points are. But I don't think you needed to in this situation. We play here and we're fine. So yeah, so it's still the fighting tactics stuff, which is hard, right? It's tough. Having to look at all the things, all the cuts, and all of your liberties, but that's what it comes down to. So especially here, it came down to a pure liberty race and this cut, right? So if this cut happens, then it's a liberty race. But as long as that cut doesn't happen, we're fine. Like I guess technically this is still a liberty race, because he does have this cut, but and then he's got this, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 liberties, and he has 3. So there's no race. Like you can Tanuki. Like he can, after he plays this, right? Like we can just Tanuki this, and it's fine. We can go, okay, fine. We'll play here, and then he does this, and you're like, or oh god, I've even missed the liberty here. He can take this liberty away, and you're like, well, yeah, we're still fine. He's like, well, I'll take. I guess we're not fine when we lose that. So he does that, and we have to connect. And then he can play here, and you're like, yeah, that's fine. We'll play here. And then he's like, well, then I'll take this liberty away. And you're like, okay, fine. Now we'll finally answer, right? You were ahead so many liberties if you go that way. Or like, that's complicated. We don't need to get into that. I'm just saying, like, as long as we connect, this isn't a liberty race because we just have so many liberties. But yeah, letting him get out. Right? This was just too cute of a move. Fighting is rarely this difficult, where you need to find like this crazy wedge to Suji. Like, sometimes it's just clear the liberties, protect your cuts, and it's okay. So yeah, so those were the few fighting things, right? When we Atari'd here, just from a fighting basic standpoint, I don't like it. These exchanges that you do frequently, like I know you see this and you're like, oh, it's Sente, but it's a 0 point move. Yes, and interestingly, it isn't even Sente. It ends up as Gote for you. But even if it was Sente, it's a 0 point Sente move. So it's a waste of a co-threat. If nothing else, this wastes a co-threat. And I've been seeing you make these types of exchanges a lot frequently. And yeah, it's like if you watch my games or stronger plays, you'll never see a stronger player play a move like that. Here we need to fix the cut. They're just going to fix the cut. They're going to leave this for later. Although of course they're going to play this. So yeah, so the Atari on the cutting stone, this Atari, and then when you played this this cute looking move, I think those were the 3 like big fighting mistakes in this game in terms of other mistakes. This was the other big one. This was probably the biggest mistake you made in the game, honestly, because your Fuseki is normally very strong. So I don't think you need to play wacky moves like this. I think you can just be more efficient than your opponent, and it's fine. This is what gets you into trouble. Like this, like even if we let him get another move here, he's got 1, 2, 3 stones and 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 16 points. 16 points for 3 stones isn't a lot, right? That's five points per move. That's nice and efficient, but it's not like you can still do this, and now all of a sudden that's probably 15 points for 3 stones, right? So it's like there's like that's just how it is. Like this isn't like potential to be scared about. This isn't a Moyo or anything. This is just potentially an efficient corner. But even if he does this, like we still have Aji later, right? Like I know this is way above you, and it's honestly it's above me as well. But like I know this Aji exists, and so it's like, so what does white even do here? Is it this? Because now it kind of looks like black can still just live in there. And the reason is I think black can still live in there. So it's like we really shouldn't be afraid. And even if you don't know those invasions, I don't really know those invasions. I know that these 3 stones leave too many weaknesses behind. This is just one of those things that's like, I know a stronger, this is another approach I've been taking recently. In this situation, I know a 3-dan playing against a 3-dan as black lives in there. I know a black 3-dan player against a white 3-dan player ends up either living in here or cutting the stone or reducing this to like 5 points. Whether or not I can do that is another story. But if I know that a player that's only like just a little bit stronger than me can do it, then I can go, okay, I know there's something later, and maybe I'll figure it out, or maybe I won't. But yeah, for now, it's like we really don't have to be worried about that. And so this is just too early to dive into what's the smallest area on the board. It's like, look how big the top is and the right side. And it's like, and then we've got this small corner now, and this small corner, and this small corner. It's like those are the 3 last places we want to be playing on this board. We want to be playing points, not diving into what's going to be the most difficult spot on this board to dive into. That's really what it comes down to. Is this just makes it hard for you? This is the hardest area on this board to play because it's white's strongest spot on the board. And so it's just, I think it's too early to be diving into that. And then other than that, it was just the fighting stuffs, which is tough. We already know that's tough. But yeah, unfortunate ending because you were well ahead. If you had just if we had found this move or h5, I think we would have been all set here. So that is where we will leave this one, I think. So enjoy the rest of your day. If I don't see you around, enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you later.